The purpose of this hopefully short video is to demonstrate how custom programming development using the provided Tekla Open API tool can greatly reduce the time and expense required to complete repetitive, non-typical tasks in Tekla structure. The repetitive task displayed in this video will be creating IFC models from 3D views of individual assemblies, which will be shared to the shop foreman and erector in the BIM application called Trimble Connect. The purpose of the video is not to demonstrate that individual assemblies shared in Trimble Connect are necessary for everyone, but instead to demonstrate that many types of repetitive non-typical tasks can be completed in Tekla structures in much less time and with less expense if custom programmed apps are run inside of Tekla structures, either as standalone applications running with Tekla structures or as plugins. These apps can accurately perform the needed repetitive task in a fraction of the time. Now, I'm just going to show what the end result is going to be, and I'll bring in Tekla Connect here. And I'll just bring this into the screen. So with Tekla Connect, they don't need the e-drawings. We can look at a portion of the model, which is what this is, and so these, Trimble Connect is nice to the extent that these can be viewed on a notebook or a desktop, a tablet, or a cell phone. But the purpose that we've got in this case is to make it possible for the erector or the shop foreman to view this on a cell phone. Here's an example. Let's see. This is a good example. Here in this example, the erector had some questions because there were some non-typical connections. In this case, the beam, as required in the engineer drawings, did not align with the center of the column, and there was quite a different connection that the engineer had called out there. But of course, the erector is he's used to connecting everything beam to center. And that's all part of a PCN change that came into the project, and it was the same down here, a different kind of a connection. And so the erector, instead of spending time peering through the e-drawings, wondering what's going on with some of these connections, it could just take a cell phone and connect to Trimble Connect, bring up the assembly, and that's all that was needed now. So that's the purpose that we've got here. I'll just take this out. Now, how these, what we've been doing to create these assemblies, let's see if we got anything that's descriptive. Well, here's an example. All that we do is we just take the, if we were doing it individually without an application running, we would just select the part, create a view. Can you see that on the screen? Create a view, I think you can see that on the screen. And there's our beam, but also the associated surrounding assemblies are also shown. So and then we would save that, uh, select that and save it as an IFC model with the name of the main beam here. So then the erector can see the connections and he can see the beam, and so like that can be done in manually if a person were working at it. Probably 90 seconds a minute or 90 seconds per assembly. But the problem is that on this whole job, um, overall, I think there were thousands of assemblies on this job, and so um, that's where a repetitive task becomes necessary, and Tekla does all sorts of repetitive tasks very quickly. For example, creating NC files to run um, Python cutting machines, or the NC files. Tekla does that repetitive task very quickly. It isn't necessary to create an NC file individually for every part. Tekla just creates the NC files for hundreds and thousands of parts in seconds. But there isn't an application in Tekla for creating these individual IFC files very quickly, and so that's where custom programming um, to create an application within Tekla to create these IFCs quickly. That's where that becomes necessary. So we'll just put the program here. Okay, so I'll bring the program in, and in this case we want to select. We're just going to use selected assemblies. So I'll just choose here. Just check some assemblies. 5, 6. Okay, there's some, and we'll select this one too, and this one. So there we've got about a dozen selected, and we'll just bring in our app, and the app is going to create IFC exports of individual assemblies, and it's very simple to run. We can either select all the assemblies or just the selected assemblies, and just to keep the video short, we're going to uh, just select maybe like a dozen assemblies. So we'll just create so it'll soon be done. There, that's all there is to it. And of course, this sort of application can be run as a separate program that accesses the Tekla model, or it can be set up as a plugin, which would be included on your toolbars. And we'll just take a look at the results. I'll just take a look at the files here. Okay, so there they are. We've got about a dozen IFC models created of different sizes, but the names are there, and then we can upload that to Trimble Connect and view them there. And um, if the erector or the shop foreman needs to see these, it's an easy task for him to do that, either with even using a cell phone. So that's basically the purpose of this short video, was to show not just this task, but if you can think of any repetitive task that you're doing inside of Tekla, where it's a one-of sort of an application, or Tekla is set up to do it one at a time, but there's multiple repetitive needs for this, then a custom programmed application can be done. These custom programs are very inexpensive. They, without, I think pretty well without exception, they pay for themselves the first time they're used. And so that's what we wanted to show you. Just remember that uh, the structural steel industry is driven by price. It's driven by time, and fabricators and detailers are compelled to be able to find faster ways to do things, to be able to do things more accurately. Of course, accuracy is paramount, and that's what these custom applications can do. Anytime that you can use a custom application that can do something in minutes instead of hours or days, you know that you will have the lowest cost in the world. Nobody in the world will be able to compete with a job that you can do in 20 seconds when it's going to take them a day, a week. It doesn't matter how cheap they work, nobody can compete with that. So that's the purpose of these custom programmed apps.